Welcome back to Modumate's click-by-click tutorials. In this tutorial, we will apply the separators we have crafted for our pool house. Let's navigate over to the pool house and equip our first assembly, the exterior wall. Click the Separator Tools button, click the Wall tool, and scroll down the list to get the 2x6 exterior wood stud wall. Click the wall to equip it, and start to hover over target planes in your scene. You can see a preview of the wall being hosted onto the plane. Finally, your massing graph is turning real. You can either click to commit the wall, or if you don't like the justification, you can use W, A, S, and D to move the wall around. These four keys are often used in video games to represent movement, and here, based on your camera's direction, A and S move the wall outward, W and D move the wall inward. I know that I want these walls center justified, so I will tap A once and click. Then I'll mouse over here, and I can see the orientation of the wall is just what I want, so I will click. For these pilasters, I want the walls to be interior justified, so I will press D and then click, click, and click. This wall I want center justified, so I press D and click. Then here I press D and click, click, click. Here I will press A, could have been S, that's too far, so I'll press W or D to push it back. And now I'm finishing the rest of the center justified exterior walls. I've now added all the exterior walls to this pool house. The next step is to add interior walls. To do that, I will click the roof plane here and click Hide or type HI to temporarily hide that plane from my scene so I can see the interior planes. Next, I will click the Separator Tools palette. I'll click the Wall tool. I'll scroll up in the Assemblies list to find the typical 2x4 interior wood stud wall, and I'll begin targeting planes in the scene. I want these center justified on their planes, so I will press A to move it over and click on all the planes. Interesting, I see an error with my door plane, so I will type MG to go to the massing plane tool, Control 1 to ensure I'm in edge drawing mode. Next I will complete that plane. Okay, I now have a door plane. By pressing F2, I return to my separators view mode, where I can see the walls I've just created. I'm missing just two walls here. It's hard to see, but there is not a wall here where this plane is, so I will re-equip my walls by typing WA, which is the shortcut to get into the Wall tool, click the 2x4 exterior wood stud wall, and apply it into this plane. I will also apply it to this plane. Now all of our walls are created. Let's move on to adding floors. To do that, I will look at the underside of the pool house. I will click the Separator Tools button and then click the Floor tool, or just typing FL can bring up the Floor tool. Let's say that there's a concrete foundation on this pool house. We will click the 6-inch cast-in-place concrete slab assembly, and we will apply it to all 5 planes that constitute the bottom of this pool house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great, I've applied the floors for the project, and as you can see, they hang appropriately below the massing plane that they're hosted to. Pressing F1 can ascertain this for me. You can click on any layered assembly and use the same hotkeys as you did before clicking. For example, W and S to raise and lower, or D, A, D, S, W, S, W. The movement hotkeys can be used before an assembly is created or after an assembly is created. To finish enclosing these spaces, we will apply a roof. This plane needs to be unhidden. You can either click the Unhide tool or type UH to show that plane. Next, click the Separators tool button, then the Roof button, or just type RF, and equip the typical roof. This roof looks like it's upside down. I expect to see the same waterproofing as I do over here, so I will press F to flip the assembly over the plane. And now it's submerged below my massing plane, so I will type WW to raise it up. Now I will apply that assembly and justification on all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes. Oh, that one's inside out. So I will click this roof, press F, and it flips above the plane. Great, I've now given a roof to this pool house. Lastly, I will apply some windows. Click the Separator Tools, click on the Window tool, or simply type WN, and choose Fixed Window 1 Patrician Bronze. There are 2 drawing modes for windows. With one of them, as you mouse around the scene, you can stamp the window onto a wall, and in so doing, you will create massing planes that support the window. But since we've already drawn our windows, I press Ctrl Z to undo that window. I'm instead going to use the second drawing mode for windows, which is the paint bucket. So I will equip my window assembly, use the paint bucket, and click on each of the window massing planes. The last thing to add is 3 doors. Let's click the Door tool or type DR. Let's equip a solid walnut swing door and click. We've placed a swing door that swings to the exterior. Now if this eave is not deep enough and we want it to swing to the interior, we can click that door, click the flip handles, and it flips across the massing plane to swing inward. If we don't quite like where it's justified on its massing plane, we can click the justification handle, scooch it inward, click, and it has now changed its justification to its massing plane. 2 more doors to go. We will hide this roof one more time by typing HI, then type DR, and click. Great, so we have roughly hosted all the assemblies into the scene. Type UH to unhide your roof, and you have all your separators built. The pool house now matches the main house. In the next tutorial, we will lay out the surfaces in the bathroom of this pool house.